My parents started living in my house, and when my older sister also moved in, she asked for the master bedroom and half of the house's personal space. I kicked them all out.
Final part.
I'd given them time, plenty of time to get their act together, and they hadn't done a thing to help themselves. I gave them a chance, I said, keeping my voice steady. They left me no choice. My dad didn't argue. He didn't try to guilt-trip me like I thought he would. He just nodded, taking another sip of his coffee. I think he finally understood that I wasn't going to back down this time. After all that had happened, there was no way we could go back to how things were. Around noon, Jessica and Eric started packing their things. I stayed in my room for most of it, not wanting to get into another argument or hear more passive-aggressive comments. But after a while, I could hear Jessica's voice getting louder from down the hall. So I knew something was about to go down. Sure enough, Jessica knocked on my door. I opened it, and there she was, standing there with the same pissed-off look she'd had since this whole thing started. "You're really going to let this happen?" she asked, her voice sharp. "You're just going to kick us out like this?" I crossed my arms and leaned against the door frame. "I gave you 24 hours. You know what needed to happen." Jessica clenched her jaw, clearly trying to keep her temper in check. "We're family. You don't do this to family." I took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. Family doesn't take advantage of each other. I'm not kicking you out for no reason. You've been freeloading here for weeks without contributing anything. I've been paying the mortgage, the groceries, everything. And instead of being grateful, you try to take my room and push me out of my own house. I'm not going to let that happen. Jessica didn't say anything for a few seconds. I could tell she was mad, but there was nothing left for her to argue. She knew I was right even if she didn't want to admit it. "So that's it," she finally muttered, her voice low. "You're just throwing us out." "I'm giving you the same option I gave you yesterday," I replied. "You can find somewhere else to live, or you can stay in the guest room and respect my space. But if you can't do that, then yeah, you're leaving." Jessica stared at me for a moment longer before turning and walking away without another word. I closed the door and let out a long breath. This whole situation had been exhausting, but I knew it had to be done. By mid-afternoon, Jessica and Eric were gone. I didn't see them leave, and honestly, I didn't want to. There was no need for some emotional goodbye. They packed up their stuff, loaded it into their car, and drove off without saying a word to me. The house felt different after they left, quieter, less tense. My parents didn't say much to me for the rest of the day. I think they were still processing everything that had happened. My mom looked upset, but she didn't say anything about it. Maybe she finally realized that I wasn't the one who caused all this. Jessica and Eric had pushed me too far, and this was the result. That evening, my mom knocked on my door. She came in, sat down on the edge of my bed, and stared at the floor for a while. I could tell she was trying to find the right words. "They're gone," she said softly. I nodded, not saying anything. "I never thought it would get to this point," she admitted. "I didn't realize how much pressure we were putting on you." I looked at her, feeling a little bit of the frustration lift. "It's not that I didn't want to help," I said, trying to explain my side. "But you guys treated me like I didn't matter. Like my needs and my space weren't important." She sighed,